So we will turn our attention to Bradford City. And as we mentioned, Gaz, you had the weekend in Doncaster. It was all booked and planned, but sadly, you weren't able to be one of the 1,500 City fans. I say sadly, not able to be one of the 1,500 City fans in there. As it turns out, you might have been glad you were watching it in the pub instead.
Yeah, we always go, me and I've got a couple of groups of mates that I go watching City with, and one that I go with probably more often, the lads that I sit with at home games. We always go away for the last game of the season. We just go and stay over wherever we're playing, wherever that may be. So we've done Crewe, we've done Tranmere, we've done Sutton,
All
we've
the
done
glamorous places.
Scunthorpe twice, 2 years on the trot. So yeah, it was Donny, and obviously Donny. I think we've discussed on the pod before. Last 2 times we've been to Donny. City have taken 3,000-4,000 supporters, but Grant McCann got himself involved in ticket arrangements. Wanted us given the minimum possible, which is by FA rules 10% or AFL rules 10% of capacity. So City were only given 1,500 tickets, and then it came down to loyalty points or away points, whatever you want to call them, that fans have on who got priority to get the tickets. I think I had the most out of this group of friends, and I was 50 points short of the cut-off, so we were all in the lump with remaining season ticket holders, and we didn't get them. But because we already had the hotel booked and everything, we decided to go anyway.
That's mad, Gaz. Gaz, that's absolutely mental. You were 50 points short, and you go to loads of away games. That's mental. You must have had to go to every game, near enough.
I don't know. I don't know how the cut-off is. Because it was 1,500, I don't know how many they kept back just for the season ticket holders or for the season ticket holder pool. Because they obviously keep some back that can just go to all season ticket holders. Whether they should do that or not, I don't know. Whether they should all go to those with points, the ones with the most points get them. Maybe they should. I don't know. But I'm obviously just outside the top 1,500, I guess, is where I lie. But like I said, the lads that I go with all had less than me. So I would, even if I had enough, I probably wouldn't have gone anyway because the lads that were going, we didn't have enough. So yeah, it was annoying and very, very, very. I know we've talked about this before. Grant McCann now on a bit of a hate list at City and as are Doncaster. But having sat in the pub watching the game, we did sort of say in a way, kind of glad I wasn't in the ground with the way it panned out. It panned out how the previous 3 games have panned out. The last 4 games, City have had it in their hand numerous times to see a lot of automatic promotion, and we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Whether that be red cards, whether that be horrendous substitutions from Graham Alexander, basically just a lack of discipline and a lack of mental strength. And we have not got over the line, and we've chucked it with late goals conceded, etc., etc. And it felt like on Saturday, I put a tweet out when Aidan Baldwin got himself sent off at half-time that it was 1,001 ways to chuck away automatic promotion by Bradford City. And then obviously Tariq Wright took and missed the penalty, so I asterisked it and said 1,002 ways to miss automatic promotion by Bradford City.
You were taking it well.
Right, we're going to come on to the penalty. I know Chris is going to discuss the penalty with me later on. No blame whatsoever on Tariq Wright, but there are other people in that squad that probably should have stepped up to take that pen. So yeah, missed the pen. Aidan Baldwin sent off for shouting at the referee at half-time after the whistle had gone as they're walking off the pitch. 2 more ways to tuck it away, like I say, along with the previous red card from Richie Smallwood, the horrendous substitutions, the late goals conceded against Chesterfield and Swindon. So just a lack of mental strength and a total self-implosion and shooting yourself in the foot and lack of discipline. And it's cost us so far, but we go to Saturday with somehow it's still in our hands on Saturday because Accrington did us a favour against Walsall.
Yeah, we'll come to what lies ahead shortly. In terms of the sending off, let's start with that one then as a talking point from Saturday. Am I right in thinking that the first yellow card was dissent? It was for something that Baldwin had said that the referee didn't like.
Yeah, now we talked. You asked me about this before we went live, didn't you, Chris? Because you weren't sure exactly what had gone on.
Yeah,
there was debate whether it was 2 yellow cards or whether it was a yellow card and a straight red. We are now told it was a yellow card and a straight red, and both were for dissent. So as they're walking off the pitch at half-time, Aidan Baldwin is chatting to the referee. He can see he's not happy, and as the conversation's going and going, he's getting more and more irate, and the next minute, the yellow card comes out. He's one of the last people off the pitch. The only other people that I can see on the pitch at that time are Sam Walker, well, the referee and his 2 assistants, who Aidan Baldwin's interacting with, and Sam Walker, the goalkeeper, the City goalkeeper, who's behind them, and he's jogging over towards them. And after he gets the yellow card, Sam Walker's trying to push him out the way, telling him to get inside, just get inside. You can see him saying, just get inside, come on, just get inside. And the referee's saying to him, just go inside. He's pointing, just go inside, just get inside.
And Aidan Baldwin,
he
decides
carries on walking. He gets him away. He gets him away a little bit. But as he's got him away and he's in front of the linesman, he turns round and he's saying something else. And he's shouting and he's screaming at him as he's saying something else. And then the red card comes out and it's a straight red. So it's not even 2 yellows for dissent. It's a yellow and then a straight red for dissent. So the only other person that you see on the camera at that time is Jordan Gibson, the Doncaster winger, who has a very, very,
Carlisle.
Well, he has a very, very, shall we say, tempestuous relationship with Bradford City supporters because he used to play for City. His dad is very active on social media and has got into arguments with City supporters on social media throughout Jordan's career at City and throughout Jordan's career at Carlisle. Every time we've played Carlisle, because obviously he was there up until this season, he was at Carlisle. The chant has gone up from the away fans, your dad's a CUNT and so are you. And he just loves winding City supporters up and City love winding him up. And to be fair to him, the only interaction he has is after the red card comes out, he's clapping the referee. So he's not really had anything to do with it. This is all on Aidan Baldwin. This is on Aidan Baldwin and nobody else. Graham Alexander, he's asked about it afterwards. And he says he's not spoken to Aidan about it. He's spoken to the referee about it. And Graham Alexander's words were, the referee had no other course of action. So Graham Alexander is saying he agrees, therefore, with the yellow card and then the straight red card for dissent. So they are clearly not happy with Aidan Baldwin. He basically also says that they had a discussion with senior players during the week leading up to the game about how, as I've discussed, things have been going against us in the last 3 or 4 games, particularly at away games, and how in previous years we've coped better away than we have at home, and we've overcome that. And the home form, we've managed it with the big crowds, and we've managed to rectify it all. But for some reason, we're not coping at away games in particular, and we're chucking late goals away, red cards, poor substitution, like I talked about before. And he said that they had spoken to the senior players and they had encouraged them to help the younger players deal with this kind of environment and this running. But Aidan Baldwin is a senior player, and the last thing he expected was one of the senior players to go and do something like that. And he said that he didn't know anything about it because he was already in the dressing room. He heard a commotion in the tunnel. Sam Walker came in and said Aidan's been sent off. And that was all he knew. When he'd not spoken to Aidan, he spoke to the referee, and the referee had no other course of action. And we've heard nothing from City since then about that.
I mean, what Walker will have heard what he said, obviously. But
you would imagine so.
I watched the footage, guys, because I watched the replay afterwards, sort of the reaction and stuff, and it's just like, I just find it mad. Like you said, the referee's telling him to go inside. Walker, his own keeper, saying get inside. You know, the 2 experienced lads there. It'd be maybe more understandable if it's 2 like 18-year-old kids, but it's not. It's two really players. Experienced, but like not just like senior players, but really experienced lads as well. And he just lost his head, hasn't he? And he's just like, and I can't believe how you've had 2 sendings off like that have caused you big problems in 2 key games. I just find it mental. I'd be tearing my hair out as a City fan. I'd be like, what are we actually doing? Because the goals from Donny, I didn't think were that great, if I'm honest. I mean,
well, we're going to come on to I'm sure we'll come on to that as well.
Billy Sharp scoring.
Go on to it if you want. Go on to it now.
Well, The first half, I think when the conversation you first see Baldwin talking to the referee, he's saying my shirt's being pulled at every set piece. I think that's what he's saying. I think that's how the conversation starts. But that's just me, obviously, from what I can see. It might be complete. That might not be at all. But I think that's how the conversation starts and it escalates. The first goal's from a set piece, corner into the box. Neil Byrne, don't get me started. People haven't wanted him in the team for a while, playing right centre half. He gets beaten to the first header at the back post. It's headed back into the 6-yard box, and then Rob Street beats Aidan Baldwin to the header and heads it past. So we lose 2 headers, and Rob Street, the second one, heads it past Sam Walker. We just say here, Sam Walker is the ultimate professional. Sam Walker, I can't believe Aidan Baldwin don't listen to him, because Sam Walker, every time you hear him talk, he's one of the calmest people you can hear talk. You can tell he's a senior pro. He's been there and done it. Aidan should have listened to him, and Sam's trying desperately to get him out of the way of the referee, and he's just not having it. And I think it's disgusting. And you've got City players, City fans on social media at half-time or since half-time saying that Aidan Baldwin shouldn't play for City again after that. And it might be a heat-of-the-moment comment, and people might reconsider, especially if we win on Saturday and get promoted. But that is the strength of feeling at the moment after what he's done, because he's a senior pro and he's got to know better. The second goal...
How do you feel about that, Gaz? Sorry, are you one of these? Or are you a bit... Because I imagine you're a bit more balanced about it.
Yeah,
I'm a bit
I
older.
find those comments a bit cringy, to be honest, sometimes.
Yeah, like, you've got 2 games, 1 game left now, unless you go in playoffs, which hopefully you don't. But you need, you can't just chuck him out at squad for nothing, really.
He's got another year on his contract, and he's been reasonably good this season, to be fair. I'm a bit older, and I'm very careful as I've got older to not speak in the heat of the moment. As you know, I don't normally message during games on group chats because emotions just flying around, and I don't agree. I don't think it's right. You've got to be calm when you speak. I don't know. I think it'll calm down. People will probably feel differently in a few days. People will definitely feel differently if it goes our way on Saturday. The second goal I was just going to come on to comes immediately after we've missed the penalty. We're all sitting there in the pub, and we're saying, I'm glad we've not scored yet. We actually played a lot better with 10 men than we did in the first half. City do this. City play better when they go down to 10 men quite often. And we're saying as the second half goes on, someone said at half-time, I bet we play better with 10 men, And we actually were probably the better team in the second half, even though we had 10 men. And we're sitting there and we're saying, if we score, I really hope it's near the end of the game, because after what's happened in stoppage time in the last 2 away games where we've chucked it away, with late goals conceded, I want to give, if we do score, I want to give Donny as little time as possible to score again. And we get a penalty in the 85th minute. And we'll talk about the penalty separately in a few minutes, but we missed the penalty. And then there's a bit of a furore in the away end. I don't know if the City fans are kicking off. There's something going on because it's happened. The missed penalty happens in front of the City fans. Something happens in the away end, and there's a delay, and the game doesn't restart straight away. And then immediately, when it does restart, the ball gets pumped up to Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp, who always scores against City. He's not been on the pitch for very long. He's come on as a substitute, goes through, scores. It's 2-0 to Doncaster. They're all going mental because it's like the 86th, 87th minute. They're winning 2-0. They're guaranteeing that they've sealed automatic promotion. And that's it. And obviously, you feel there's very little we can do about that because City are pushing forward. But Graham Alexander did say after the game that there's been a delay after the penalty. We've got time to reset ourselves, get into position, and I'm disappointed that he's managed to get clean through on goal because there's been a delay. We had the time to reset, and we've not done it. But obviously, emotions are flying around. Everyone's head's frazzled because we've just missed the pen and everything that's going on. So you kind of understand it. Stupid thing is, what did we do after they'd gone 2-0 up? We went and bloody scored, didn't we? We went and bloody scored. Yeah. So it just feels, as I keep saying, that over these last 4 games, City have found new ways to hurt supporters. It just feels really, really cruel. The way that we've chucked it away in stoppage time, the way that we've made terrible substitutions. There's been a lack of discipline. There's been head loss and weak mentality. And then on Saturday, we just topped it all off by what Baldwin did, and then by missing the pen with 5 minutes to go. And I don't know. I just feel like City fans at that moment in time just can't take anymore, honestly. And I know it's a totally different sort of can't take any more to what's going on at Town, because Town have obviously got issues that are depressing the supporters.
Oh, we're just crap, mate. We'll get on to that. You've actually been half decent this season.
It's a different type, because obviously City, our feelings are the way we are, because we've had this opportunity that we've not had in 25, 26 years. Yeah. And in the last 4 games, it feels like we've self-destructed on numerous occasions, and that's why City fans are so felt like they'd had enough at half-time and at full-time on Saturday.
I was not shocked that Billy Sharp scored. Not shocked. He was on the field for like, what, a minute? Or something like that.
He came on in the 69th minute.
The thing is, with Billy Sharp, he got sent off a few games ago. I don't know if you know. City fans were saying, oh, brilliant, at least he won't be playing against us. But when you actually looked at it, it was his first game back from his suspension. So City fans, other fans were correcting him, saying he will be playing and he will score.
Yeah, what did he get? What did he get sent off for? Didn't he get sent off for?
It was a headbutt, I think. Either a headbutt or an elbow. Or an elbow at a set piece.
But it was a bit weird. Like, you couldn't see actually what had happened.
Yeah, it looked like a contentious red, to be fair to him at the time. Let's kind of briefly touch on the penalty situation. Obviously, it was Tyreek Wright that took it. And Graham Alexander, he stopped short of saying that Tyreek shouldn't have taken it. But he kind of implied that there were, what was it he said? There were, so along the lines of, and to paraphrase here, other players on the pitch that he would have expected to take the penalty.
Yeah, I've literally just told you that, Chris, before we went on air.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, go on, Gaz, call him out.
Know that, Gaz. God.
Call him out. That is it. That is literally it. Basically, the penalty is given. It looks a soft penalty to me, to be honest. I was surprised it was given. I don't really know what it was given for. But obviously, there's 5 minutes to go, 85th minute. We're all thinking a draw is going to be a fantastic result here if we score it. We've already missed one penalty in the run-in, Richie Smallwood at Port Vale, where we're 2-0 down, penalty 89th minute. Smallwood has it saved by the keeper. And we sitting there in the away end at Port Vale saying if that had gone in, I think Port Vale's arse had gone, and we could have equalised in that game as well, because there were 7 minutes added on at the end of that game. 85th minute, Doncaster, another penalty. George Lapsley actually gets hold of the ball. And City have done this before, and I think other clubs do it, where the player who gets hold of the ball is not necessarily the player who's going to take the penalty. He's keeping it, they're trying to keep the pressure off the penalty taker. And George Lapsley has hold of the ball. And then all of a sudden, he gives the ball to Tyreek Wright. And we're sitting there in the pub, like, why is Tyreek Wright taking this penalty? Really, really odd. He's been in and out of the team this season through form and injury. And I hadn't actually thought until after the game. The keeper saves it, by the way. It's not a badly struck penalty. It's not in the corner, but it's at a decent height for the keeper to save. He hits it fairly well, and the keeper goes the right way and saves. It's one of those where if the keeper goes the right way, he's going to save it. Yeah. But it's not badly struck. And I hadn't actually thought until afterwards, and both Alex Patterson, who was captain on the day because Richie Smallwood was obviously suspended, and Graham Alexander had asked about it after the match. Graham Alexander's words were, as you say, Chris, as I told you before we went live, pretty much that there were other players on that pitch who have scored or taken penalties in those kind of situations before and who have scored goals this season. Tyreek Wright hasn't scored a goal this season. And he would expect those players to have been keen to take that penalty. Alex Patterson, all he said on it, who was captain on the day, was that Tyreek Wright wanted to take it. Now, City fans are saying, yeah, there were other people. City fans are disappointed that Alex Patterson as captain didn't want to take that penalty. Alex Patterson is a brilliant striker of the ball, as we all know. George Lapsley himself, who had hold of the ball, will have taken, or I'm guessing, will have scored or definitely played, if not taken penalties and scored in those kind of situations before. Another experienced player, another good striker of the ball. Tyreek Wright isn't known for his ball striking ability, although, as I'll say, he actually strikes it really well. So, yeah, City fans are disappointed that such as Patterson and maybe Lapsley or maybe even Michael Mellon, who's taken penalties before and was on the pitch, didn't take it. Michael Mellon had come on as a sub for Callum Kavanagh, who is a very, very confident young lad and has previously voiced, I think, opinions about wanting to take penalties. So if he'd have been on the pitch, maybe he would have taken it, but he'd been subbed. Obviously, Richie Smallwood is our penalty taker and was suspended. Anthony Sarcevic took the penalty at Chesterfield and scored. We've had 3 penalties in the running. The one that Smallwood missed at Port Vale, the one that Sarcevic scored at Chesterfield, and then this one that Wright's missed. Sarcevic was off the pitch. He'd been subbed, so he couldn't take it. Obviously, you'd normally look at Andy Cook, who's taken penalties before, has been taken off penalty duty because he'd missed a few, and that's why Smallwood is our nominated penalty taker. But Andy Cook maybe would have stepped up in such a situation. He's obviously injured long term, so he's not there. So you've no Pat, you've no Smallwood, you've no Sarcevic, you've no Cook, you've no Kavanagh. Now, I don't know how this situation works. Do clubs have a hierarchy of do we have a list of 10 penalty takers? I don't know. On Football Manager, as you know, Chris, you nominate as many penalties. You can nominate loads, can't you? A hierarchy. Yeah. In real life, I don't know how it works. Is there a nominated penalty?
Some clubs do have a list, don't they? Some clubs do have a list, but like at Town, we haven't had a penalty for 1,600 days now, so nobody knows who the hell would take a penalty. The other comment that I'd make is, like, fair play. If he said that he wants to take up and take it, and nobody else has put their hand up, he's got some balls to do it, and in a game like that.
Said, at the end of the day, there is absolutely no criticism on Tyreek Wright here. No. He's put his hand up and said, he's shown some bollocks and said, I'll take this penalty.
Shows the more experienced lads, or the lads that should be going up and taking it. I always remember when we had Jordan Rhodes in the team, even in the season where he scored 40 goals, he never took a penalty. It was mad. It'd always be Theo Robinson.
Some players don't like taking them full stop, and I kind of understand that if you don't want to. Even strikers, like you say, like Jordan Rhodes don't always like taking penalties.
No, I mean, the only thing that I would say is if Tyreek wants a penalty lesson, I am here. I've got experience of, on the penalty spot, so I could give him a few lessons.
Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know how. City fans are saying that Graham Alexander should have had a nominated penalty taker, but because we had so many penalty takers off the pitch not available. How far down had we gone? I don't know how much you can look at Alexander there. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened.
Let's move on from that then, because fast forward from 2:30 in the aftermath of the Doncaster result, you're sitting there in your pub in Donny thinking, "Oh, we've made a mess of this. Walsall will beat Accrington. We're down to 4th. We're throwing it away." Fast forward to 5 o'clock, and you're I was going to say hometown, but your lovely little mill town in Lancashire where you reside, do you a massive bloody favour by going to Walsall and getting a 1-0 win to leave it in City's hands for Saturday. What are the chances of that? And have you been round to give John Dool a nice peck on the cheek?
It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? And as you know, I'd kind of resigned myself to the playoffs from the debacle at Swindon. So what's happened since then, with Notts County, Chesterfield, Notts County, Chesterfield, Doncaster, I think City fans have just joined me in we're going to end up in the playoffs, we're going to bottle it category since then. So I wasn't quite as irate, down, depressed, angry as a lot of City fans were after the final whistle against Doncaster, because I'm kind of already there after Chesterfield and Swindon. But yes, you're right. Somehow, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? Because we've been thrown another scrap of hope by what Accrington managed to do at Walsall. Walsall, you talk about us bottling it.
On this, I bloody told you on Thursday's show that Accrington would not roll over for Walsall, and that there was a strong chance that Walsall, because they go into that without winning 12. I said on Thursday's show that I thought that Walsall wouldn't win, by the way. Just pointing that out.
You did. My argument was that they will win eventually, because they will. But you're right. You didn't think they'd win on Saturday, and they didn't. As I say, the number of ways that we've chucked it away and bottled it, it feels like we're just being... Walsall are doing it as much, if not more so, than we are.
13 games now for them without a win. And you've got to think for Walsall, in that 13 games, all they'd have needed was a win, and they'd still be in the automatics going to the final day. It's mad.
But you've both got dead rubbers in the last game. You know, you're at Fleetwood. You should go and beat blooming Fleetwood.
At home,
and
at home,
Fleetwood
at
as
home,
well.
and they've got Crew away. All right, I know Crew's like we did say last week.
They've
Crew's
dropped.
not always the easiest place to go, and it ain't. That is true, but. You know, they've got no to play for either. They'll be on the beach, them lads, looking forward to their holiday, which won't be Crew, by the way. But
and Crew are in horrible form as well. Fleetwood actually we've looked at Fleetwood. Fleetwood actually have a really good away record this season. Crew are in horrible form.
But it's in your hands, Gaz. It's in your hands. The City fans have got to get up for Saturday, and
they will.
You know,
they will. It's now sold out. What?
Yeah,
3 times over.
I can't comprehend how we keep getting thrown these chances. Now, I, as the pessimist that I am, look at it equally as another opportunity. As much as it is another opportunity to seal automatic promotion, it is another opportunity to kick the fans in the bollocks again, like we have done over the last 3 or 4 games. That is how it feels. Equally, it is there in both. There's both scenarios, isn't there? There's both scenarios. It's either if we win and we get promoted or we get over the line, everything that's gone before is forgotten about. If we don't, then these guys are going to, I'm sorry, but these guys are going to go down as some of the biggest bottlers in the club's history if this doesn't happen.
You can just see it now. Not to be pessimistic, guys, but you can just see it, can't you? Last 96th minute or whatever, both games have gone to like extra time, 95th minute, and they score. What Walsall score, and your game's at 4-4, and City concede a late winner to what you can just see, can't you?
Well, the thing is, I saw someone put on social media that while us and Walsall are competing for who is the biggest bottlers of the season, we've actually thrown Notts County a chance of automatic promotion on the last day, because if they beat Doncaster at home and we lose and Walsall lose, Notts County finish 3rd.
Oh my God!
So if we continue to bottle it and Walsall continue to bottle it,
oh my God, they do.
There is a chance that Notts County finish 3rd and get that last automatic promotion spot.
Yeah,
because they would finish level
difference.
on points with us and they have a better goal difference than us.
By 2 as well. Yeah, by 2 as it stands. And obviously for you to lose in.
Who do they play? Donny.
They're at home to Donny, who obviously will want to
Donny
win
going for the title though.
Try and win the league.
Yeah. So that to be fair, it's not a gimme, is it? Because Donny are going to go all out, aren't they, to win league? Which I hope they do, by the way, because I win 20 quid if they do.
Which would Grant McCann like more, though? A title on the CV, or to throw Bradford completely on the bus and drops them to the playoffs?
The other thing is, as well, a name that you know well, Downsy, and obviously played for us on loan from you, and had another, as we talked about, Jordan Gibson's tempestuous relationship with Bradford City supporters. Another guy who had a tempestuous relationship with Bradford City supporters is Cian Harrott. And so just thank God that he no longer plays for Fleetwood.
Oh, is it Oldham? I know.
He would have been nailed on to score on Saturday. You could guarantee he would have scored on Saturday. He's now at Oldham, so at least that's taken away. But yeah, you're right.
He's thrown his on his career, guy. He's thrown his career under the bus. I can't believe that he. No, he has, Chris. He has. He's gone from starting at Town against Watford and scoring, and scoring goals to now playing for Oldham. It's only 2 years ago because he was playing under Warnock.
Well, he obviously scored the goal in the playoff final for Port Vale. He came to us with a very good reputation, and he looked good when he played. I believe I'm only whatever they call it, hypothesizing here, but the way things have gone with his hair coursing and his off the field issues, I'm wondering if there's some kind of off field attitude thing there with him, because he clearly has ability. But he would have scored on Saturday, nailed on. So thank God he's not playing.
I mean, I remember seeing a couple of months back now, he came off the bench for Oldham at half-time against Rochdale, and he spent the entire second half just offside time and time again.
He's terrible.
He's off something. He's offside. Leeds have taken the lead, by the way, against Bristol City. I'm just going to say that as it's happened. Tanaka has scored for Leeds, so Leeds are 1-0 up against Bristol City.
Just read the WhatsApp chat. Jay said that they're playing sexy football. Oh, my God.
It's
the last thing,
backwards and sideways, but yes. Sorry, guys.
The last thing on City is, and you mentioned it, Chris, I think it was just worth saying, it is sold out at City on Saturday. It's one of those another bumper crowds. The other bumper crowds this season have coincided with ticket offers. There's no ticket offer on Saturday. The City crowd was showing us sold. The City Stadium was showing us sold out. Valley Parade was sold out on Saturday night because I had people messaging me saying it looks like it's sold out. You know, I can get a ticket. And then they reconfigured the stadium, which I believe means moving certain people out of certain areas or moving away fans into certain areas. And it basically released an extra 500 tickets, which went on sale. I think, well, I might be wrong with that. I don't know how many it released. It released an extra number of tickets.
Right. I think you're right. I think the article may have said about 500, and then obviously they'd all gone before. Because I had a look when I saw that article go out about half an hour or so after it had.
Yeah.
And they'd all gone at that point. So
they went on sale at 5 p.m. They went on sale at 5 p.m. and were sold by 5 p.m, I believe. So it's another sellout. The City crowd just have to try and forget about everything that's gone on in the last 4 games and get behind that team on Saturday and try and get them over the line. That's the only thing we can do. We have to do what we did, the atmosphere that we created against Colchester and Crewe. We have to try and do it again and somehow get these lads over the line because they clearly need us as much as we need them, and we need to do it. We need to get them over the line on Saturday. It is our chance. If you would have offered us at the start of the season, beat Fleetwood at home to win promotion, to win automatic promotion, we would have taken it. We have got to do it. We have got to do it. Forget that we were 8 points clear of 4th at one point. Forget everything that's happened in the last 4 games. We need to get over that line on Saturday. Are they going to go down as City heroes? First automatic promotion in 26 years. Are they going to go down as some of the biggest bottlers in the club's history? This is on the line now. We've got to do our best to help them on Saturday. Get them over that line and get into League One.
And sadly, mate, your good luck charm. I couldn't get a ticket, so I won't be there. I was there for the Boxing Day game up against Port Vale, and you won. I was there for the Colchester game with you, and you won. Well, I mean, if you can get me a ticket, you might stand a chance.
It'll break my
Chris a ticket. Find Chris a ticket.
It'll break my bloody heart if Bradford didn't go this season, just for you guys.
Yeah. The issue when you're talking about the team selection is obviously that Baldwin is now suspended, so he won't be playing on Saturday. Kieran Kelly is injured, and one of the other centre halves, Jack Shepherd, apparently has been one of our best centre halves this season. He wasn't on the bench even on Saturday. He's apparently got a groin injury. So we play 3 at the back. We have 6 centre halves on the books. 3 of them are 6 or 7 if you include Callum Johnson, who can play right centre half.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, particularly who plays in the middle of the 3 on Saturday, because Baldwin and Shepherd have been playing there, and it looks like neither of them are going to be able to play in the middle of the 3 on Saturday. So does Paul Huntington come into play? There is he's done a job in the past up against target men. I don't know who's up front for Fleetwood. He does a job against target men, but if he's someone pacey and nippy and quick, he's going to be caused a problem on Saturday.
Fair, I'm right in thinking it'll be Jaden Stockley, if I'm right in thinking.
No, he's at Port Vale.
Oh, I forgot he's Port Vale now. 2 seconds. Let's have a quick look. Let's see what did Fleetwood do in their last game.
Be right atmosphere Saturday, guys. I think it'll be a right atmosphere.
0.
If you get an early goal, that cop will be rocking if you get an early goal.
Well, that's the key, isn't it?
Say again, mate.
That's the key, isn't it? If you can get an early goal and take some of the pressure off yourselves and put the pressure well and truly elsewhere at Walsall.
Well, that's it. The thing is, though, we've been saying for weeks, and we've said all season, that City are brilliant when they get an early goal, and getting an early goal has been the key to winning games. But then we've done that at Swindon and Chesterfield and chucked points away.
True.
So, and like
Yeah,
I said, that led to me staying on
crowd.
Saturday. And if we equalise, I want us to equalise late on. Just everything's been turned on its head. Normally, you get an early goal at City, you're good because teams have to come out and play, but who knows?
Let's.
Did you see who's up front, Chris?
I did. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's not a name that I recognise. Something called Devonport. I'll be honest. I'm just looking at this Fleetwood squad. My God, has it changed a lot in the last 6 months or so since Wild's been there? But there aren't that many players in that lineup that are kind of what I would class as recognisable names. And I'd say trying to work out the forward line is.
And that's mad from you because your knowledge is.
Yeah, well, we were talking that yesterday about yours and Lou's knowledge. It's unsurpassed, really. But yeah, it looks like we've got. Well, if we play 3 centre halves, we've got Romney Critchlow, Paul Huntington, Callum Johnson, and Neil Byrne. 3 of those. If Shepherd isn't fit, I don't think Kelly will be fit. If Shepherd isn't fit, obviously Baldwin suspended. It's 3 of those 4 to play at the back. And like I said, we've just got to do everything we can, repeat the atmosphere we did against Colchester and Crewe, and try and get us over the line somehow.
The only other line on City, which I'm not going to go into, but I'm sure we will do if the job gets done over the weekend, is, of course, Graham Alexander was named as the EFL League 2 Manager of the season. So they're certainly expecting that he's going to get the job done at the weekend. But we'll talk more on that one next week, as I say, should the job get done.
Must have been picked before the last 4 games.